All right. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. We are just about to get started with our World Ocean Week story time. My name is Kat. I'm so excited you're here. Let's give ourselves about another, what do you say, 30 seconds until we get started with our ports cast. This way, everyone can find a nice place to sit, start turning on our listening ears. And don't worry, I'll give you a big 10-second countdown before we start. Hello and welcome, everyone. Happy World Ocean Week. All right, friends, what do you say? Let's give ourselves a big 10-second countdown until story time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hello and welcome everyone to beautiful MacKerricher State Park. I am so excited that you're here to celebrate World Ocean Week with all of us here in the California State Parks. My name is Kat, and I am here to share with you my favorite story of all time. It is the story of The Snail and the Whale by Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler. Today, in our story, we are going to meet a little snail that wants to travel the world and the whale that helps her do so. But they are going to face a lot of challenges along the way. I hope they can make it. A wonderful. Today, we are here together celebrating World Ocean Week, huge celebration of our beautiful global ocean and everything we can do to help our ocean. And in order for us, in our webinar today, for all of us joining through Zoom, there are a couple of ways that we are going to talk to each other about our ideas of how to help the ocean. One of the first ways we are going to communicate with each other today is through the reactions button. So go ahead and take a good look at your screen right now, and you're going to see a little reactions button. You'll see some options like a smiley face, or a heart, or a thumbs up. Go ahead and press one of those buttons right now just to let me know that you have found them. This is a great option to let me know how you're feeling all the way through our story and our discussion today. All right, good work, everybody. Another way that we are going to communicate with each other is through the Q&A button. That stands for questions and answers. So today, I am going to be asking you a lot very difficult questions. And through that Q&A box, that's a great way to send me your answers. And I promise today, I will save time at the end of our program so that you can ask me questions as well. So let's go ahead. We're going to look really hard at our screen. We're going to figure out where that little Q&A box is, because I promise we're going to be using that quite a bit today as well. So if you were able to find both the reactions and the Q&A box, go ahead and give me a really big thumbs up. You can also give that big thumbs up in your classroom as well. Oh, fantastic. Well, fantastic, friends. We're getting close to diving in. Cover with you first. I know I've already introduced myself, but my name is Kat, and I work for the California State Parks. I'm what's called an interpreter with the California State Parks. That means that I am a really big nature nerd, that I'm a teacher, and that I love to tell the story of plants, animals, people, and history of these amazing places. And today, again, I'm here to share with you my very favorite story of all time, The Snail and the Whale by Julia Donaldson. I'm joining you live in an absolutely amazing California state park called MacKerricher State Park. And some of you may have noticed that today I am standing in front of something that is very, very big and very, very cool. And at the end of our program today, I promise we'll be exploring through this giant skeleton. But my first very big, very difficult question is, what kind of skeleton do you think this is? My only hint is that today we are reading and the whale. So today, what kind of skeleton do you think this is? Let's go ahead. We're going to use that Q&A. What is this big thing? Let's see what you say. Ooh, okay, we're getting a couple answers rolling in that Q&A. Oh, there it is. Are you ready for the grand reveal? Let's give ourselves a little bit of a drum roll. You can do it on your legs or with your hands. It is a gray whale skeleton. Today, I am coming to you live in front of a fully articulated or a put together gray whale skeleton that, again, I promise we are going to do some exploring of that skeleton at the end of our program. Oh, wonderful friends. Incredibly amazing as this skeleton is. Before we dive into our story, I want to make sure you truly have an idea of not only where you are virtually visiting today, but also some of the main characters in our story. So if you give me just a second here, I'm going to pull up my favorite photos of MacKerricher. Here we go. Now, we know this place. We know this shape. This is our beautiful state of California, and MacKerricher State Park, where you are visiting right now, is way up here in Fort Bragg, California. So where you see that little white dot next to Fort Bragg, boop, that's exactly where MacKerricher State Park is. But from our map, we can see that this is a park connected to a very big blue thing that goes all the way down the state of California. The ocean, specifically the Pacific. After all, this is World Ocean Week, and look how much we have to celebrate. All of us are connected to this beautiful global ocean. And here in MacKerricher, we're lucky enough to feel very, very connected to our ocean. This is a view of our beach here in MacKerricher State Park. We're actually super lucky because we are connected to a special part of the ocean. It's called a marine protected area. Now, marine protected areas, or MPA for short, are important because, well, marine means ocean or water. And an area is a place on a map, but it's that middle word, protected. What does it mean when we protect something? Go ahead and type it in the Q&A or quietly tell a neighbor next to you. What does it mean when we protect something? Let's do 10 seconds. What does we protect something? 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Oh, I saw a great answer in our Q&A. To protect something is to keep it safe. And that's exactly what we're doing with marine protected areas. Our coast, we have 124 marine protected areas that help to protect the plants, the animals, and even underwater history. Oh, yeah, very cool. Underwater archaeology. These places help to keep, again, those plants, the animals, the history safe. And because these 124 little areas are like safe zones, they can help lots of animals that we see in our story today. Animals like, what kind of animal do we think this might be? It is let's say it together on the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. A seal. This is a harbor seal. We get to see it in our story today. All right, let's check out another animal we see in our marine protected area. Ooh, all right, let's look really hard. We'll say it together on the count of 3. Ready? What kind of animal is this? 1, 2, 3. A whale. Absolutely. This is a picture of a gray whale, same kind of animal as the skeleton behind me. Pass through marine protected areas on their migration. And if we're reading the book, The Snail and the Whale, I have a feeling we might see a couple whales. Now let's take a look at one more animal. Now don't forget the title of the book we're reading today. What kind of animal do you think this might be? Let's say it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Snail. This is a sea snail. Specifically, this is a turban snail. And another main character in our book today, but we get to see lots of these creatures here in MacKerricher State Park, especially in the tide pools. Great job, everybody. A wonderful, friends. Now that you know a little bit more about exactly where you're visiting, some of the animals that we are going to meet in our book today, and what I'm standing in front of, I think it's just about time for us to dive in. But I have a challenge for you. See, in our book, we are going to hear the word whale and the word snail a lot. My challenge for you today is every time you hear the word snail, I want you to make snail eyes on top of your head, just like this. So go ahead and practice those snail eyes to the right, woo, to the left, woo, crisscross. Good job. Now we are going to be using the word whale too. So when you hear the word whale, I want you to make a whale tail with your hand, just like this, and wave that whale tail around. There we go. Let's practice. Snail. Snail. Whale. Whale. Whale, snail. Snail, whale. Whale, whale, snail, 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 whale, whale, snail, whale, whale, snail. Good job. I know you're going to be very good at this. Now, this book I'm sharing with you today has lots of beautiful pictures or illustrations all the way through the book. And I want to make sure that you can see these pictures just as clearly as if you were right here in MacKerricher State Park reading this story right next to a skeleton. So what I'm doing right now is I'm selecting all the pictures so that they will show up on your screen. Now, don't forget my challenge. Here we go. This is The Snail and the Whale by Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler. This is the tale of a tiny snail and a great big gray-blue humpback whale. This is a rock as black as soot, and this is a snail with an itchy foot. The sea snail slithered all over the rock and gazed at the sea and the ships in the dock. As she gazed, she sniffed and sighed. The sea is deep and the world is wide. How I long to sail, said the tiny snail. These are the other snails in the flock, who all stuck tight to that smooth black rock, and said to the snail with the itchy foot, "Be quiet, don't wiggle, sit still, stay put." But the tiny sea snail sniffed and sighed, then cried, "I've got it, I'll hitch a ride." This is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail that looped and curled and said, "Ride wanted around the world." This is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars were bright. A humpback whale, immensely long, who sang to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. And this is the tale of the humpback whale. He held it out of the starlit sea and said to the snail, "Come sail with me." This is the sea, so wild and free, that carried the whale and the snail on his tail to towering icebergs and far off lands. And if we look really close, look who's here in the background. Ooh, we already know this animal, don't we? That's right, it's the seal. It's the harbor seals. There they are. All right, let's see where else they go. Ooh, they are off to places with fiery mountains and golden sands. These are the waves that arched and crashed, that foamed and frolicked and sprayed and splashed the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. And these are the caves beneath the waves, where colorful fish with feathery fins and sharks with hideous toothy grins swam past the whale and the snail on his tail. This is the sky, so vast and high, sometimes sunny and blue and warm, sometimes filled with a thunderstorm with zigzag lightning flashing and frightening the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. As she gazed at the sky, the sea, and the land, the waves and the caves and the golden sand, she gazed and gazed, amazed by it all, and she said to the whale, "I feel so small." Hmm. Let's use our thumbs here, and I want you to show everyone around you what you think. When the snail says, "I feel so small," is she having a good feeling or a bad feeling right now? Go ahead and show everybody around you. "I feel so small." Is that a good feeling or a bad feeling? Yeah. A lot of people tell me that it's not always the best feeling, is it? Hmm. Well, let's see what she does with that feeling because that's what really matters here. Ooh, but then came a day. Bum, bum. The whale lost his way. There are speedboats running a race, zigging and zooming all over the place, upsetting the whale with their ear splitting roar. making him swim too close to the shore. And this is the tide slipping away. And this is the whale lying beach bay. Quick, off the sand, back to sea, cried the snail. I can't move on land. I'm too big, moaned the whale. Well, the snail felt helpless and terribly small. Then, I've got it, she cried, and she started to crawl. I must not fail, said the tiny snail. This is the bell on the school in the bay, ringing the children in from their play. And this is a teacher holding her chalk, telling the class, sit straight, don't talk. And this is board us. And this is a snail with an itchy foot. A snail, a snail! The teacher turns pale. Look, say the children, it's leaving a trail. This is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail saying, save the whale. These are the children running from school, fetching the firemen and digging a pool, squirting and spraying to keep the whale cool. This is the tide coming into the bay. And these are the villagers shouting, hooray! Show me really good hooray hands. Ready? On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Hooray! Good job, everybody. As the whale and the snail travel safely away back to the dock and the flock on the rock, who say, how time's flown and haven't you grown? And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. And how the snail, so small and frail, with her looping, curling, silvery trail, saved the life of a humpback whale. Then the humpback whale held out his tail, and on crawled snail after snail after snail, and they sang to the sea as they all set sail on the tail of a gray-blue humpback whale. The end. Good job, everybody. I hope why I love this story so much. I think it was amazing that even though the snail felt small, she still made a big difference by helping a whole whale. She was able to make a difference by asking for help. She went to the school children and said, save the whale. And then the school children went to the firefighters and said, help us save the whale. They all asked for help. And so this is where I am going to ask for your help. See, I need a little bit of help today thinking of ways that we can help ocean animals. There's so many different ways that we could help, but I'm hoping that maybe you have some ideas. So let's go ahead and start using that Q&A. Can you tell me ways that we can help ocean animals? I'm going to give our classrooms 1 minute to go ahead and type in our answers. How can we help ocean animals? All right, friends, we're going to bring it back together in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 1. Good job. All right, I'm going to open up our Q&A, and I am so excited to hear what you think we can do to help ocean animals. There are so many answers in here. All right, here we go. We are going to clean up trash. Let's give a little clap for that one. Absolutely. Cleaning up trash is a great way to help ocean animals. That way they don't accidentally think that our garbage is their food. We don't litter. Absolutely. Making sure we don't leave the trash. We're also cleaning up the trash. Another little clap. We should pick up trash. Amazing. All right, no trash or plastic bags in the ocean. We should not litter. Never put animals in danger. Never take animals out of their habitat. Don't hurt animals. Amazing answers. See, there's so many things we can do in real life, not just in storybooks, in order to help ocean animals. We actually have a really fun saying. It's called take 3 for the sea. Let's go ahead. We're going to do that hand motion together. Ready? Take 3 for the sea. Good work. What it means is that every day we try to pick up 3 pieces of trash to make sure that they don't end up in the sea or in the ocean. And that's a wonderful way to help ocean animals and to celebrate World Ocean Week. Oh, fantastic, friends. You have answered all of my very difficult questions. And I bet you have some questions as well. I would also guess that you would like to take a closer look at this very cool skeleton behind me. So right now, I would love for you to start typing in any questions you might have about whales or snails or MacKerricher State Park or World Ocean Week. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my camera off the tripod and we're going to start walking around together so you can get a really good view. So go ahead, type in those questions. You're going to see my camera moving here just for a little bit. Here we go. I'm going to switch the camera around. Ooh, there we go. Let's go check this skeleton out while you're typing in your questions. Oh, I saw another great suggestion about how we help ocean animals. We're going to throw away our trash. And we're also going to recycle. Oh, I love those ideas. Great job. Right now is going to be a great time for any questions you might have. Oh, I see my first question already. Is this a real skeleton? Yes, this is a real gray whale skeleton. This is a skeleton that washed up in MacKerricher State in the 1980s. And when the whale washed up, it was no longer alive. So, unlike our story, we couldn't have saved this whale, but we were able to save the bones so that we could show super cool students like you exactly how big and how amazing these animals that we get to share our ocean with truly are. Great job. Oh, I got a question. Is this whale extinct now? This kind of animal is not extinct. Gray whales live in our oceans. They are alive. This is a species we get to share our planet with. And it's one of the reasons we help to take care of our ocean. There's so many incredible animals that call our ocean home. Great job, everybody. Ooh, let's take a cool look. We've got about one more minute together. Take a look at that front flipper of a whale. What does that look like to you? To me, it almost looks a little bit like a human hand. Look at that. They've got similar bones to us. We have so much in common with ocean animals. Good work, everybody. All right. You say we go ahead. Let's wrap up our day today inside the mouth of a gray whale. What do you think? Oh, here we go. Well, thank you everyone for coming to join me here in beautiful MacKerricher State Park, for listening to my favorite story of all time, The Snail and the Whale, and for helping to brainstorm get to help ocean animals in real life. I gave you lots of challenges today, like making the hand signals for snail and a whale. But that final challenge is always going to be take three for the sea. So thank you everyone for coming to beautiful MacKerricher State Park, for checking out the skeleton, for listening to the story. I hope you have an absolutely incredible rest of your week. And I hope you have an World Ocean Week. Have an amazing day, everyone. Thank you for coming. Happy World Ocean Week.